Hi, everyone. Hi, how's the energy? Awesome. So I'm apparently the last speaker, so let's go. Uh, Going from space to Earth, and I mean, there is nothing like a statistician to bring you back to Earth, that's for sure. My name is Suzan Hourieh Lindberg, and I'm CEO and co-founder of Perspectivo. We are a SaaS company, a tech company, enabling representative data. We're the only company in the Nordics right now that can actually enable fully representative data. I will go a little bit into that as well. Let's deep dive. I ask myself this question sometimes, because obviously we get a lot of information every day. And most of it is based on some type of data. So I talk about, is it information overload? Is it misinformation? What is the main problem that we have in our society today? I would even ask this question. Have we been focusing on the wrong things the last 15 years, approximately? Before we do that, I wanted to talk about the importance of knowing where you stand in order to know where you go. That's what data is all about. So, for example, you are looking to do some sort of market research or societal research or opinion research in order to make decisions moving forward. For that, you need data to understand where you stand today. I want to challenge you a little bit. So this is some interesting data that we've been bringing out. If we look at Europe, right now you see that the birth rate in Europe is 1.6. In order for it to be plus minus 0, it needs to be 2.2. So we are declining. If we look at Africa, which is a huge continent, obviously, and a very interesting and amazing one, the birth rate is 4.4. Year 2050, every fourth person, 1/4 of the world's population will be African. At the same time, we have shortage here in Europe. Can we help each other out? Have we been focusing on the wrong things? This. How many of you knew that the world is more literate now than ever before? The generation, the youngest generation we have now, is the most literate ever. It's amazing. How do we utilize that? Have we been focusing on the wrong things? And what could we do if we actually have access to fully representative data? Data that represents all voices, all around the world, in all parts of society, including underrepresented groups. This is another data or statistics that is very important. How many of you knew this? I'm going to give you a little bit of time to read it. How many of you have some sort of connection to South America? See? Awesome. This is something that we don't talk about in this part of the world. This is something that we can learn from. How amazing isn't this? There are a lot of things happening all around the world. Not necessarily where we've been looking the most. Have we been prioritizing? Right. Can we redo? But what do we need to do in order to do that? Well, I usually recommend to start where you stand. And where do we stand right now? Sweden. Sweden is extremely unique in many ways. This is one of many ways that we are unique in. And this is something that many of you, I think, have seen before. Every third Swede has at least one parent that is born in another country than Sweden. How many of you has at least one foreign-born parent? Raise your hand. Yeah, approximately 1/3, I would say. Every fourth has 2 foreign-born parents, and every fifth is foreign-born. How many of you are foreign-born? This is amazing. We are much more diverse than many, many countries around the world. I would say one of the most diverse countries in the world. From this perspective, then there are many other perspectives as well. These are some of the perspectives. So I'm going to come with some bad news, and then I'm going to come with some good news. How about that? The bad news is, if you are 25 years and younger, if you are 60 years and older, if you have a foreign background, or if you have some sort of writing or reading disability, you are not represented in statistics today. How many of you are one of these? Okay, we're quite many now. It's approximately 40% of the Swedish population. So when we talk about market research, opinion research, and etc., when we create societies based on data and statistics, we base it on the 60% that we actually reach. What does that say about the data? And what does that say about the decisions that we make? People are like, I'm going to come with good news soon. Let's just, you know. This is the last one? How could you? But basically, we get it, right? So data leads to information. Usually we collect data in order to make better decisions, right? We actually collect data to make sure that we don't base decisions on feelings. How do we make sure that the data is trustworthy? That's the next step, right? And this is not only a Swedish problem. When we look at, for example, in Canada, they have a difficult time reaching the young population. When we look in Germany, it's the foreign-born. When we look at Singapore, it's the people that move to Singapore from other countries, and etc. It's a global problem. But we still make decisions based on that data. But the question is, who is it that you're making decisions for? In Sweden, it's the 60%. And the fastest growing part of the society, it's not the 60%. 39% of our children, 18 years and younger, has at least one foreign-born parent. It's the fastest growing, obviously not a very diverse part of the population. So how do we make sure that the trustworthiness gap doesn't become bigger and bigger and bigger? Now the good news. If 1% of every one of us working within tech would put 1% of their time to develop sustainable solutions, we would have over 1,200 years to do that in 1 year. What does this mean? Well, this means basically that the power of many is huge. We are all here today. I mean, obviously, me and my co-founder, we decided quite early that we've seen this market and societal imperfection. We wanted to solve it. We added our careers to change this. And today, we're the only research platform and company in the Nordics that actually managed to reach fully representative data. What I want to leave you with is that you can do the same within your field, wherever you are. 1,200 years in 1 year. And this is the last thing, almost the last thing I'm going to leave you with. I'm not going to lie here for no reason. But yeah, good decisions are made with good data. We can all agree that it's important to have data in order to make good decisions, but good data is representative. Non-representative data, you don't have to look at it to make decisions. I would say skip it, but make sure that it's representative. We would like to invite you, obviously, to join Perspectivo. So feel free to join us in our panel if you want to share your voice when it comes to different matters. We work with, obviously, private companies as well as public companies to change the narrative and to make sure that every voice is being heard, no matter what perspectives you have. Thank you so much for having me.